AI tools. There's a lot of tools out there, and a lot of them are doing things with text and brainstorming and getting you organized. And there's even some AI tools that help you create images. Today, I'm going to explore Adobe Firefly because it's free for me. And what I mean is it's included in my Adobe membership, so that's why I'm trying it out. I've used Firefly several times with some mixed results, and I'm curious, should we even be using it? So I thought I would give it a test today and share it with you. Today, this is one of those crazy, unscripted, we're going to see where it goes kind of talks. So let's play around with Firefly, the AI tool, to create images. First, I want to talk about some failures. Like I said, I played with Firefly a little bit with mixed results. I just typed this one prompt in today, quiz time. So sometimes in my presentations, to shake things up a little bit, I like to give my audience a quiz. And so I have a slide that says quiz time so that people know, oh, we're going to be having a quiz. Now, I didn't give it any kind of art direction or suggestion on images to use. I just typed in the words quiz time. And look what happened. It produced these images. Okay, fine, maybe I need a cat or a dog, but this does not even say quiz time. What are these words? It's nuts. I don't understand how this is even viable results. This is what I have found with Adobe Firefly. If you give it words and you expect words to work, they're not going to work. Let's look at a couple more. I asked Firefly to regenerate using the prompt quiz time. And this was my second round, which quite frankly is worse than the first round. Again, it's still sticking animals in there. And this first animal, I'm not even sure what that is, to be honest. I don't know. But these aren't even words. Some of these are not even letters. So again, Firefly does not like words. Here's another example. I asked it to create a bank check. I was doing a share out on the ability to deposit a check at the bank or something. It had something to do with finances. I don't really remember. All I said was provide me an image with a bank check. And look what I got. I don't even know what language that is, to be honest. This is crazy. So yeah, words and Firefly don't seem to mix. I also asked it to generate a meeting of a group of people. And this has all kinds of stuff going wrong in it. This is kind of weird. The hands are weird. This guy kind of in the front, in the middle, his hands are tucking underneath a laptop. The cutouts around the face are weird. Look at this woman on the far right. What's going on with her face? What's that weird? Looks like it was cut out of a magazine. Crazy, crazy results. Here's another image that I got when I asked, this is the same prompt. I asked it to regenerate a business meeting. Okay, I'm not really sure what's going on with that woman's face in the middle, but woo, I don't think that's a human being. Also, the lights are kind of funky. But see, some of these results, if you really look at them closely, as you always should with AI, they produce some pretty funky stuff. Here's a funny one. I asked it to create, the prompt was, show a woman, what was the prompt? The prompt, the woman locking up a store for the holiday season and waving goodbye. Well, something's waving. What's happening with that hand behind her? Is that her own arm? Is that arm coming out of the purse? And how many fingers does that hand have? These are some of the funky results that AI is producing when it comes to images. Oh, it hates hands and it hates faces for some reason. Just can't get those right. Another image that had some interesting results was I was asking for a couple to, what was it? It was like something about a business couple, business people coming up with KPIs and metrics. Okay, So there's some chart things going on here in paper, but I'm not really sure what they're stuck to. I don't know if they're hanging from a window or just hanging from midair. But what I really find is kind of funny, this guy, what is he wearing? That looks like a lobster bib or some kind of napkin hanging from his chin. I'm not really sure what's happening there. And I don't know how that illustrates KPI. So as you can see, Firefly produces some very interesting results when it comes to generating images. So my task today is I want to create some images of dogs for a presentation that I'm making for YouTube. If you've ever seen any of my presentations, I love to use dogs and images because dogs are awesome, right? What I also like to do is include some words on that slide. I could just use a blank page and put some words on there, but I like to put a dog on there because people like to look at dogs. Don't you like to look at dogs? Me too. But I'm kind of using the same old images all the time. And I wanted to see if Firefly could create or generate some dog images for me. So let me type in my prompt here, which is a full-bodied dog on a dark purple background. The reason why I'm choosing dark purple is because that's one of my branding colors and it complements the subject of the video. By the way, the video is I Read Better Onboarding, so you don't have to, that book by Crystal Higgins. It's a great book and it's all about the user experience of onboarding. So if that's a subject that interests you, go ahead and check out that video after you watch this. But that is what I want to create some images for. So let's see how it does. Again, I want full body. I want the whole dog. Okay, so I'm okay with them being square because I can take these into Photoshop and extend the background pretty easily. And I think there's some pretty decent ones here. I'm not a big fan of these particular breeds. Just me. I like littler dogs. But like this one here, this little, I'm going to click on this. It looks like a German Shepherd. I couldn't use that because his little paws are cut off. And so that's not a very good one for me. So I'm going to go back and see, oh, this one's kind of good. Except he's looking the opposite way. Probably the way I put the text on it. But I could flip it and nobody would know. I'm not a huge fan of flipping photos just to make them aesthetically interesting. I don't know, there's some ethical and reality implications around that. But since this is an AI generated image, why not? It's not real anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and download that just to have it, but I don't love it. Let's have it regenerate. Okay. Not really sure. I do want it on photo, so I do have that the right way. I could have this. I think I'm gonna change the orientation to landscape. Just see what that does. And again, it was kind of big dogs, which was fine. I'm not being super picky, but let's regenerate it and see what happens. All right, here's some good possibilities. I kind of like this little guy. It looks real. You want to look at their toes. They got a good amount of toes. And his eyes. Yeah, let's keep him. What I don't love is that this image is kind of split. You can tell he's on a foreground and the background's a little different. I kind of wanted it to be the same. But I might be able to work with that. So I'm going to go ahead and download that as an option. Anything else? I kind of like this guy or gal. I don't know. I can't really see underneath to see how exactly what the dog is. But I like that they had this leading look toward the directions of the words because I generally put my animals in the bottom right of the slide and then the words on the left. So it's a good kind of leading look. So I'm going to go with that. Let me put full-bodied small dog and see if it will generate anything there that I like. I got a bias towards small dogs. Now it's still, oh, it says full bodies. Okay, maybe it's confused. Why don't I learn how to type and then it'll work a little better. Looks intently into, oh, so here's some suggestions. Looks intently into the distance. I don't know. studio photo, a beautiful pet. I don't need all that. Let's just do full-bodied small dog on a dark purple background. Okay, so it's going to be some kind of Yorkie, evidently, because they don't know any other kind of dog. Now this one here, this fur looks just a little too perfect, right? This fur looks a little too brushed out, too smooth. To me, this looks like a really fake AI image. And I actually don't want it to look fake. I want it to look like a real photograph. So I would definitely not be interested in this one. And this one, kind of cute. But again, I don't like them on that, we can call it a stage or that platform. I'm not loving any of these. Let's regenerate it. Let's see if it's going to give me something other than a Yorkie. Well, we've got a long-haired Chihuahua. I guess that's an improvement. I kind of like this black and white one. Though again, I feel like the fur it's just too perfect. And I just don't want it to look like a fake image. It's just a little visual compliment. Let me say solid background. And see if that makes a difference and takes that kind of foreground or stage away. No, it certainly didn't. This last one's like kind of a corgi mix, which, okay. Let's say small dog Chihuahua. Chihuahua. Okay. Not sure if I'm spelling that right, but we'll go with it. See how that goes. Okay, so it's going to be a long-haired dog, evidently, for this. I'm not loving any of this. See, this to me is not full body. Maybe it is, but no. Where's the back of it? I'm not loving that. And they just look a little scared. So I'm not totally overwhelmed with the options. I have a couple that I could work with, but I think I would want to plug away at this a little bit more and try some different prompts and see if I can get some different images. Like I mentioned, I'm using a square or horizontal. I can go take this photo into Photoshop and extend that background so it is a solid color. I'm not super concerned that there's not room for words on these images. That's not a problem. But with the results that I have today, it's going to take me a little bit more time. I'm also thinking that I want a variety of dog breeds, and it's kind of giving me the same kind of dog. I don't know, maybe it might be a good idea to have all the dogs be very similar. I haven't thought about that because usually I have a whole bunch of different dogs because some people like little dogs like I do. Some people like big fluffy dogs, and some people like short-haired dogs, and some people like certain colors of dogs. Anyway, I like to use a variety of dogs to appeal to the different kinds of dog lovers. I'm going to go ahead and play around with this a little bit more. I think there's potential here to use Firefly for this because it doesn't involve human hands and faces. That's number one. But really, it's not that far off the mark. I just have to play with it a few more rounds to get a few more dogs that fit my personal taste. So there you have it. If you'd like to see more content of where I'm farting around in AI, let me know that as well. Give me a like. That'll let me know that you like this content. Thanks so much for joining me through this crazy AI adventure today. Bye.